Royal YouTube sensation P. Dina, I've been wanting to speak to you all week because this PR blitz by Meghan and Harry following.
She's been caught again. Just when Meghan Markle thought she could distract the world with another glossy paparazzi moment, the truth has surfaced. And it's worse than we imagined.
The Hollywood Reporter investigation has been quite something, hasn't it? What's your take on it all?
I just think it's a game changer. It's something that is setting the tone of things that we've seen previously with the late night talk show hosts always joking about Harry and Meghan in a negative way. I mean, because it could have been in a good, positive way, but it's been in a negative way. The articles that have come out and the things that have happened in the royal family prior to Meghan and Harry coming to the States with the bullying allegations over there. And now it has come out in this mainstream, art magazine that has really shown Hollywood what the picture really is. And it's what we've been saying all along. And I just don't think that they can recover from this. I believe this is why you saw a lot of the diversions with the photos from the Tyler Perry birthday celebration that some are saying that it's not even, I mean, there wasn't a birthday celebration or there's no photos of anything but them in a vehicle. It shows you that Meghan set that up because you don't really see anyone else but Oprah. It shows you a lot of things that they're trying to cover up, but they keep coming out as being revealed to what they are and what Meghan is and what she has done. And it's nothing that she can really come back from, I don't think. I think they had a chance in the beginning when no one really knew much about them. But coming out of Hollywood with this article, I mean, I just think it's going to be very detrimental to anything that she tries to build up. She's got a bad name. Her reputation is mud, essentially.
From curated street walks to controlling chaos behind palace walls, a new nickname is making the rounds: Dictator in Heels. Today we break down the latest scandal and what Meghan Markle really doesn't want you to see.
Well, the problem is, P. Dina, that they set up everything going to Hollywood about the fact that it was the royal machine that had treated them particularly terrible. And via people like me were pumping out untrue pieces of information. And I'm not just talking about the racism, but the bullying from staff members. I mean, remember, I was the first to ever report that Catherine and Meghan had fallen out. And it was initially over the way that Meghan was speaking to staff members at Kensington Palace, because that's something that Catherine's very passionate about. You treat your staff well. So all of that was going on for such a long time. So Meghan had to develop this narrative. And you're completely right. She had a chance to start again in Montecito. But these reports coming from the Hollywood Reporter mirror exactly what was coming from Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, Windsor Castle. So is she now going to try and say that there's some sort of conspiracy by the Hollywood elite to bring her down?
Right? Who's going to come out and and say that they're the reason this is happening. They're the reason. I mean, she can't say anyone else is the reason. It's her. She is the one that has essentially shot herself in the foot with everything. She didn't try to start anew. She didn't take the allegations that she said that were happening, this smear campaign over in England. She didn't take it seriously to try to brand herself to be this positive image so that she could start anew. She just came over with the same attitude, the same, ego trip, that she was just going to go to Hollywood and do what she did over in the United Kingdom. And it's been revealed. I mean, you have to remember that in the beginning, Hollywood Reporter was pretty positive for her. But then something changed, something happened. And I'm surprised even that this negative article came out, because they've always been pretty, good towards Meghan and the things that they spoke about her. I think so many people now have had this experience with Meghan that there's no way to overcome it now. You can't cover it up anymore. The truth has to now come out. because a lot of people are saying that they just can't deal with her. I mean, think about the fact that you do not see her with A-listers. You don't see her in photographs with A-listers that she mentions or has mentioned in these news articles. And she's trying desperately to make herself something that she's not. And she could have done it had she just been a good person, had she just tried to learn from what happened over in the United Kingdom. Just take what they were saying there and just try to be a better person. But she always wants to blame other people as the reason why this is happening. There's no self-reflection about, well, maybe it's me. You know, a lot of times you just have to look at, well, what am I doing wrong to make this situation like it is? And a lot of times people just don't want to look at themselves as being the problem. And that's where you go wrong, because you can't learn and become better. And you're always blaming other people, but you're never looking at yourself as the problem. And you know, my platform is about learning. And it's unfortunate that she hasn't been able to learn to be a better person. She could have had it all. She could have been so big here in the States. And she's thrown away an amazing opportunity, especially as a woman who is of color, divorced. I mean, an actress in the royal family, that's unheard of. And I think sometimes, and I think I shouldn't do this, but I look at her as a reflection on Black women, on women of color, because, you know, she was told a lot, don't mess with women like that. I think Prince Philip said something, you don't go out with an actress. I mean, you don't marry an actress, you go out with them, whatever the quote was. And it's like she lived up to that. She lived up to what Prince Philip was saying. And it's like we needed someone who could come out and be a good role model and to show people wrong. No, I'm not that. I'm this. I can be a Catherine. I can be someone that is the good role model and to do things right. And it's just so unfortunate. It really is.
So, social media lit up after Meghan Markle was conveniently snapped in a random photo op, casually strolling with coffee in hand, all smiles for the lens. But here's what tipped people off: the angle, the lighting, the impossible timing.
Now, Pidini, you obviously have experience in Hollywood. You've been an actress yourself. And I think it is important that we just talk about for a second how extraordinary the Hollywood Reporter article is. I mean, this is not a tabloid. This is not a publication that does hit pieces on actors or actresses. On the whole, it is slavishly positive about its stars. And as you say, it was incredibly supportive of Harry and Meghan for a very long time. It drunk the Kool-Aid, it ran the press releases. So the fact that it now has 12 current and former staff members speaking in this way about Harry and Meghan is incredibly important. And also the fact, and I want to show you this, and I'll get you to react off the back, the fact that the editor-in-chief actually went on Access Hollywood to stand by his sources. Watch this.
According to The Hollywood Reporter's Mayor Roshan, the magazine's bombshell report investigates the reported mass exodus of employees who worked under the Duke and Duchess.
Our reporter talked to, I think, a dozen people. Most of them are people who have worked very closely with the couple in various capacities, now and previously.
The article comes on the heels of news last month claiming that the couple's chief of staff, Josh Kettler, left his post after only 3 months on the job, which we are told was a trial period and a mutual decision. Kettler has not returned our request for comment.
Our reporter talked to one very high-up source who works for the couple, who said everyone is terrified of Meghan Markle.
The Hollywood Reporter quotes the sources saying Meghan, quote, belittles people. She doesn't take advice. Harry is a very, very charming person, no airs at all, but he's very much an enabler. According to the...
I mean, it's so significant, isn't it, P. Dina?
It's just, yeah, it is the Bible of Hollywood. I mean, that's the source where you go for everything Hollywood. And it's read by a lot of A-listers, big time people, producers in Hollywood. And how do you come around from that article? They have really let the cat out of the bag with this one. It's like, okay, this is who she is. And she has a reputation now, and she will not get people to want to work with her, because you have to think about it. The people that she has done this to, the people that they know, they have a network of people that, could have been very influential to support and help Meghan, but she's burned her bridges. I mean, you can't treat people like this. I mean, look what happened with Ellen DeGeneres and other celebrities that have mistreated their staff. You don't do well in Hollywood when you have a bad reputation like this to not treat people well. So she has no one else to blame but herself. And you can't say that there was a smear campaign because, hey, you did it in the UK, you had a chance and you blew it, and now they're saying it in the States, in Hollywood. She can't do this in Hollywood anymore. It's just not going to go well for her. I think this is why they go on these quasi royal tours in other countries. They're trying to divert and show we're royalty, we're royalty. But yeah, you're not going to be able to cover up anything with those tours now. Hollywood has revealed you. You have been exposed.
Of course, what she did in the UK, P. Dina, was play the race card, both in terms of her ethnicity, but also the fact that she was an American. Do you remember that was always what her friends would brief? Oh, the Brits. The implication to me was just the Brits are a bit lazy. They don't have that American work ethic. And I do agree, Americans tend to work very, very hard. But these people who were working for Meghan and describing her as a dictator in high heels and saying that she's terrifying, they are all major Hollywood players who I imagine knew how to work very hard. So would you go as far to say that Meghan has now become toxic in Hollywood? And do you think that she will try and play the race card again, or will that not fly stateside?
It screamed one thing: staged. Insiders claim the stunt was designed to deflect attention from something far more damaging brewing behind the scenes. This latest stunt proves one thing: the image Meghan Markle wants to project is slipping, and fast.
And Hollywood is very liberal, is very conforming to all people. You're not going to play the race card in Hollywood. I'm sorry. It's just not going to go well. And I think that is the problem for her. She can't rebuild off of this negativity. It's going to be extremely difficult to try to show a different side, because you have to look at the fact that this is ingrained in her. This is how she has been essentially her whole life. She has been this person that's always gotten what she's wanted, always. And so she assumed by coming to Hollywood and having Harry on her arm was going to open up all these doors and opportunities, but it opened it up to get you in the door. Now show us who you are now that you are in the door. And she didn't show herself to be a good person and kind, and no talent. She assumed, and this is very resenting to people who have been in Hollywood for years, struggling, trying to make it, and to have someone come and think that they're going to just now have all these opportunities because you have a prince on your arm. It's not a way to think that you're going to make it in Hollywood. You have to, show receipts. What can you do? And I don't think, well, I think a lot of people may have in the beginning believed the allegations about racism over in the United Kingdom, but they now have their people telling them, or the people in the States saying the exact same thing. And so you can't just say, okay, it's racism. No, it's what they're reporting. Very reputable publications are reporting information that is exactly what was said over in the UK. So now they have to almost question about the racist claims, because now it's like they're saying the same thing. And Meghan said it was racism, but Meghan, you're not telling the truth. You are saying things that are just not truthful.
They were not true. I mean, she was lying. I mean, P. Dina, honestly, because remember, I used to deal with her team all the time, and the front woman for her team, the whole time that she was in the royal family, is a woman called Sarah Latham. Now, she does work for, or she went on to work for the late Queen, actually. She's a talented woman, but my goodness, I don't share her politics, P. Dina. She's as liberal and to the left as you can get. She'd worked for Hillary Clinton. She's a big-time Democrat. So the idea that she was some sort of racist is just lunacy. And I think you're right. People are waking up to it now, because why on earth would there be a campaign in Hollywood against Meghan Markle? It just doesn't make sense. So is she becoming unemployable? I mean, I know this much, much smaller podcast unit has taken on the rights to archetypes. God knows why they would want it, because it was such a disaster for Spotify. But is it going to become increasingly difficult for her to get work?
Drop a like if you think the truth always comes out. Comment below. Do you think the paparazzi moment was staged, or are critics going too far? Subscribe now for real talk, sharp analysis, and the stories the mainstream media won't touch. Thanks for watching, and remember, the truth doesn't need staging.